Hi, in this video I'm going to go through some of the symptoms of postpartum anxiety and help you understand what is maybe what we call a normal level of anxiety and what might be a cause for concern. My name is Sophie Harris and I am a postpartum psychotherapist, and I regularly help new mums overcome issues with low mood and anxiety. So subscribe to this channel for free weekly support, and I'll be taking you through loads of strategies to help manage your anxiety and help you feel good as you go into motherhood. You may have heard of the term postpartum anxiety and have some idea of what it is, but not quite know, am I experiencing it? What does it look like? So let's take you through some of the symptoms of postpartum anxiety. So if we think about anxiety, we experience it in different ways. We may have the thoughts that we think, a feeling that we have, what that anxiety causes us to do, or the physical experience that we're having. Often when someone's experiencing postpartum anxiety, they may spend a lot of time worrying about maybe something bad happening to them or their baby or something going wrong. So firstly, let's take the thoughts process of that. With our thoughts, we have the content of our thought and then also the process, the way that we're thinking it. So let's take the example, something bad is going to happen to my baby. Maybe that is the content of the thought, that is what I'm thinking, but I may experience that thought in that it kind of comes into my head and then it goes away again, versus I may spend all day and all night worrying that something bad is going to happen to my baby. And you can imagine that those two experiences would actually be really different. Usually when we would think that someone's experiencing excessive postpartum anxiety is that when they're having that constant worrying or near constant and thinking a lot of the time about something going wrong. Maybe they are experiencing a feeling of dread and this kind of strong emotional experience. Or perhaps they are not sleeping, for example, because they're so worried about something happening to their baby or whatever it is that they're anxious about. And a lot of people who experience postpartum anxiety may notice changes in their behaviour. So things like staying awake at night to check on their baby, or asking for a lot of reassurance from other people. Perhaps they are Googling or internet searching loads of things that could go wrong. All of this is kind of quite normal experiences, but often when we're experiencing postpartum anxiety, we may be doing this a lot more. And then the other main way that we experience postpartum anxiety is physically in our bodies. So we may be experiencing these what we call fight or flight symptoms, where we are experiencing perhaps sweaty palms or heartbeat quicker or feeling short of breath. And it's really common to experience anxiety in your body. Sometimes you may experience this in relation to those negative thoughts that you're having. And for some people, it may be that their anxiety is actually much stronger physical experience and they don't necessarily know what they're feeling anxious about. And that is a really common experience too. So I'm interested for you, how do you experience your anxiety? Is it more of a physical experience where you don't particularly notice what you're feeling anxious about? Or is it something that you actually have strong themes or topics that you tend to feel more anxious about? Let me know in the comment section below. So now you're aware of what some of the symptoms of postpartum anxiety are, you might be asking, is the anxiety you're experiencing normal? A lot of the clients that I see come to therapy sessions saying that they want to get rid of their anxiety. They're saying they don't want to feel anxious anymore, they don't want that anxiety. And although it is totally understandable why they might say this, because that anxiety can feel really uncomfortable, but it is actually unrealistic and unhelpful. So imagine, anxiety is an emotion, and as with all emotions, they have a purpose and a function. And anxiety is actually a really healthy and a functional emotion. So if I had no anxiety, then I would not look which way I was going when I crossed the road, and I wouldn't step back when a car was coming, for example. Or when my baby was sick, then I wouldn't be motivated to go to the doctors and to seek help to make sure that they're okay. And so this is when anxiety is operating at its healthy and functional level. Often when people come to therapy is when they are experiencing excessive anxiety. So they are experiencing anxiety that feels uncomfortable or is unhelpful. A way that you could imagine this is, imagine if you had a car with an alarm on it. You would maybe want the alarm to go off when an intruder was trying to get into the house, into the car, I beg your pardon. But you wouldn't want the alarm to go off every time some wind blew into it, or a twig or a leaf blew into it. So often when people are experiencing that excessive postpartum anxiety is when they are experiencing the car alarm going off every time the wind blows into it. So actually during this postpartum phase, it is completely expected to have some excessive anxiety. You are learning to care for another human being, and suddenly you have all of this responsibility to look after your baby, and therefore it is completely understandable why you may experience that excessive anxiety for a while. And so the fact that you're feeling more anxious than usual isn't necessarily a cause for alarm. But what are maybe some helpful questions to ask yourself, or when you may benefit from support, for example, is with this excessive anxiety, you would expect it to get better over time as you get used to caring for your baby. But if it isn't getting any better, then perhaps that would be time to kind of get some support. Or is your anxiety stopping you doing the stuff that you would want to be doing? Or is it causing you a lot of distress? Are you spending the large proportion of your day or night worrying about anxiety? Maybe other people are concerned about you, or you just are finding that it's really having a negative impact on your mood. Any of these things would mean that actually, although it is within the realms of the normal postpartum experience, it may be worth just getting that extra bit of support to support you to help manage that anxiety and help bring it back down to that functional level. So are you looking for extra support around this? If you are, then you can sign up to my free Looking After Mum guide, where I give you loads of support to help you move through postpartum. And on this channel, I am trying to create this library of resources for new mums, as I believe this is such an important topic which isn't spoken about enough. So subscribe for free weekly support for all of that emotional well-being support to take you through this stage of life. And in the comment section, just let me know any further videos that you would find helpful, because whilst this is still a small channel, I have plenty of opportunity to answer your questions. And if you are wanting extra support, then next week I will be posting how to help yourself with postpartum anxiety. So I will include the link in the bio when that is released, and I will leave a playlist of videos for you to watch on the screen.